All right, excellent. We'll go ahead and continue on. Our next speaker here is Mario. Mario is with the Ethereum Foundation and Protocol Support. Welcome.
Thanks a lot. Oh wow, I appreciate that. Especially, I mean, it feels a bit weird standing here after Danny and Justin and Alex having pretty serious talks and on very important topics. And I also bring important topic, but especially to stakers. And I'm Mario from Ethereum Foundation Protocol Support. And today I would like to tell you about Ephemery testnet, or actually more of also in general specification of a new kind of testnet on Ethereum. Before we get into the testnet itself, maybe we should give a overview of what testnets are even. But I guess I don't need to explain it here. You guys being stakers, I guess you experienced what testnet is or might be, and just in general, Ethereum is a network, so if we want to test things, we need to spin up a separate network where we don't handle real money, where we can just play around with various kinds of stuff, and that can be in Ethereum the changes to clients themselves, changes to protocol, so testnets for protocol changing, or for protocol upgrades, or for users, and those can be the developers creating contracts and all the applications on Ethereum, and you folks, stakers, who want to test your staking setups on testnet. So what is the current state of the Ethereum testnets when you want to do either of these? So after the merge, we killed some of the old testnets. The Robston is, as we call it, the Ripston now. It's a terrible joke. But yeah, so what survived was Girly and Sepolia. With them being dedicated to different use cases, Sepolia mostly for users, for dev developers, and Girly especially for stakers because it had the open validator set. I'm saying had because it's kind of history now. Girly got deprecated in favor of new testnet, Holešovice, Holešky, named after Prague 7, which has also opened a validator set, and to be fair, a pretty large validator set. It's 1.5 million validators, 3 times size of mainnet. So if you want to test your validator setup, Holešky right now would be the place to go, and it's still kind of fresh because it's just 2 months old now after a second successful launch attempt. However, these testnets are meant to run for many years to come. And as Girly got deprecated for some obvious reasons, if you've been familiar with most of the supply issues with Girly. So after the years of people, using it, testing it, draining the faucets, there is not enough testnet ETH in the faucets because there was only so much created in the Genesis. So one of the main problems that the testnets which are running for years encounter is that they just don't have enough ETH to just give out for free with little proof of work from the users. So it can get expensive or hard to acquire some tokens for your testing. And what we saw with Girly, especially with being it used for Praetor for many years, it not just wasted the funds, but also created many validators which just appeared for once. People just come and try their validator, and then turn off the machine. They switch to mainnet, and they're gone forever. So what we have is a bunch of inactive zombie validators, which cause missed blocks, or maybe, in the worst case, even not able to. The network might not be able to reach the finality. And of course, as the network is growing, it gets older. It's growing. The state gets quite big, so you can have hundreds of gigabytes of just testnet data if you want to run the node or try a validator. And and all of these will end dying anyway. So they are actually all ephemeral in a certain sense. So why don't we solve it with more planned ephemerality? So we go back to Genesis. Ephemery, or this approach for testnet, which automatically goes back to Genesis, rolls everything back to Genesis. Right now it's every week, but it can be any given period. So Ephemery itself is the name of a testnet which is running for, well, a year, almost a year now. It will be December it was in December last year. We started the first iteration. And so, yeah, the testnet resets back to Genesis, which means all of the faucets are full again, all of the validators are clean and stable again, all of the state is gone. So, I mean, it's just few gigabytes for the whole testnet again. While maintaining the same single infrastructure. Because if we have like Holeshki, Gerli spinning up the new testnet, there needs to be, I don't know, Infura and all of these big providers need to switch spin up new nodes and start a new infrastructure. And Ephemery is achieving this with the same infrastructure, the same block explorers, the same nodes, just resetting the network. And that means that the faucets can be very generous. You can just waste it because they will get it back in a few days. And we can ensure that there will be always finality, because in the period when the testnet is running with the enough validators in the Genesis, there is not enough time for somebody to use all this free ETH to overtake the secure majority. So yeah, that's how it looks today. We have the iteration 101 already. Before it was the iterations were like 1 and 2 days, so that's why there is more than 50 of them, but it's been almost a year. And yeah, there are some resources, but I will show the link soon. So right now we have the weekly reset, and currently the testnet works in a way that it's mostly handled by scripts. It's bash script, which is a reference implementation of the way how the Genesis is generated and the network resetted. Every week after the reset, it also deploys contracts, which are some basic primitives that you need on the network, so like the save, etc. And all of this is specified as some general technology in its EIP, which is currently in review. Around the general roadmap, we've done such a path since the beginning, since the initial proposal. We are right now in the phase of client implementation and wider discussion with client teams. And so it's in the EIP 6916. That's a specification of well, not just Ephemery, but generally technology, a kind of testnet which allows this kind of reset. So the EIP specifies two functions. One is Genesis function, which is deterministic degeneration of the Genesis, because with each reset, the network actually needs to create a new Genesis. It's not resetting back to the same one, but to an iteration, to a new incremented values in a new Genesis. This is necessary to keep track of the historical networks, to be able to protect from replay attacks, which would be otherwise possible. So basically the main part of the network is to be able to predict what will be the next iteration, the next generation. And it's actually pretty straightforward. The main thing is the timestamp of the Genesis and the chain ID. So if you know the period, right now it's 1 week, and you know the previous timestamp, you are able to calculate when the other Genesis after each week is supposed to happen, and each of it is iterated, the chain ID is iterated just by 1. So the number of chain ID grows, and the Genesis always, the timestamp, the time when the Genesis occurs, when the network starts, is of course like just adding the period. And one important point here is that this approach that we describe in the EIP is something which can be implemented in clients, which can be done in the Go Ethereum, Aragon, in Lighthouse, in Nimbus, in each of the clients themselves. However, it's fully backwards compatible, or it's compatible with the same implementation in the scripts. So right now the network is mostly running just on bash scripts, but the client which implements the same behavior as the script can just run in the same network and continue following the same ephemeral network. So here you can read all the details in the EIP. When you look into the authors, I just want to give shout out to Remy, PK here, the co-authors of the EAP, because actually, so when the project started, when the initial ideas were gathered like a year ago at a DEF CON in Bogota, the idea was to actually dedicate to stakers. We call it stakers testnet because that was the main problem at the time of Gerli not being able to provide ETH for stakers, and also make it very easy to just spin a node and then change it to mainnet. So folks from ETH Staker were very helpful in the initial phase of the testnet. And well, a year later, today, we have implementations and clients happening. So so far, Lodestar has the implementation which is almost done. It has the main PR merged, and it's basically ready, and you can run it together with the other clients which are just using the scripts. With Get, Red, and Lighthouse clients, there's also implementation happening. It's in progress. There are also like prototypes which are not merged in clients, maybe don't have PRs, but they are. You can run the fork or contribute to these, and also dep node. So like the thing is that again, this can be either client or some external dev tooling, some DevOps tooling handling how the node behaves. So it can be dep node or some other manager which is able to handle your system to restart the node when it's supposed to. So it's also being implemented in dep node as a separate package for ephemeral testnets. And so yeah, right now, based on the feedback from client implementers, from people working on the actual client code, we are just figuring some details which need to be smoothed out in the EIP specs. But that's mostly done. But we still need more tooling support, like the dep node and other tools which are normally not counting on like changing every iteration and need also either external script or implementation in themselves. And yeah, and the next step would be to push this to all core devs and have a wider discussion across client teams, because some are aware, but it wasn't brought up directly on ACD yet. And you can use it today. So yeah, as I showed before, I mean, it's there, it's running. So even if you don't run like the modified version of the client, you can use it, because you can just add it to your wallet. You can just connect to the RPC. There are multiple public RPC providers, and by using it, whether as a dev developer or a staker or running a node, you can find issues, provide feedback. That's something very, very helpful. If you find any missing infrastructure that you would request or provide or help with all of this tooling, we would be very much happy. So it's especially useful if you want to do any form of short-term tests. So like if you are a developer learning Solidity and you're going to do Hello World, and then you're going to do like basic calculator, like the basic sort of contracts that you deploy to instead of to Gerli or Holeshki, instead of like bloating their state, you can just put it on Ephemery. It's going to be done in a week. But your Hello World contract doesn't have to be there forever. So just use it for infrastructure that you don't need next week, and also for a validator. If you just want to try how the validator setup looks like, and what you need to do, how to generate the keys and connect it to the network, you can use Ephemery. You can run the validator for a few days, then it resets and you need to do the deposit again. You will also get reimbursed at the end of the period. You in the next period you get your test ether back actually, but validators currently need to be run only for a few days, but it should be enough if you just want to do some simple tests. And yeah, it will be very fast. It will be very easy because the week-old network has really like few megabytes, few gigabytes. It's going to sync like this. So yeah, you can run it on a small machine. You can easily test it out. Maybe even if you don't have a big proper machine for a mainnet heavy full node, you can just play with this, and it will be much lighter than Sepolia, which is running for 1.5 years, or Holeshki, which has shit ton of validators. Yeah, you can break anything. Yeah, if you manage to break something, we'll be very happy. So please join our Matrix channel and let us know about what you managed to break, what you are missing, what issues did you find. You can find all of these resources in ephemery.dev. which is the landing page where you can add it to your MetaMask and find all the details. And it is the Matrix group. You can join us at this QR code if you're interested in joining the community and chatting with contributors about Ephemery. And we have meetup on Thursday. If you would like to meet us, people working on Ephemery, the Ephemery community contributors, join us on Thursday at 5 in a restaurant which is nearby here. You can find it on the Twitter or in the Matrix channel. It's being there. So yeah, I'm not sure if I have extra time to take some questions, but I guess that's it. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, thanks everyone. Oh, I get some stickers. If you stop by, I will have some Ephemery stickers for you.
Any questions from the audience here?
It was quick. Yeah, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Mario.
Yeah, thanks a lot.